afternoon, evening, depending on where you are watching from yet again. And welcome back to the Battle Hardened Stockholm here at Alpha Spell.
It's not Battle Hard, my friend. This is ProQuest
Yeah,
Plus.
it's the Battle Hardened weekend, but it's the Pro Quest.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you get a pass.
I'm pretty sure this is done on purpose with the soul function to make it harder for casters like us.
You are technically correct. The best kind of correct. So here we are, Boyd. So what are we going to look at now?
Well, we have another Living Legend match, as is today's topic, and we have it set up. We are having a Levia player against a Starvo player. Starvo being we would expect the Starvo. We would not expect the Levia.
Yes, I am just going to open the door.
All right. Yeah, that looks like we have a judge at our door. So rudely interrupting what we're doing, most likely asking some questions about the basic setup. Oh, giving us promo cards. Okay, well, if they're delivering promo cards, they can interrupt the stream anytime. Look, we got a glowing Rune Ragers form. So I'm just going to put that to the side for now. Thank you, Judge.
I love that. I love this formatting where it's just like clean, short text. Mwah, looks beautiful.
But I'm going to cut you short, Peter, because we're going to go straight into the game as we see that our players were still setting up, but have now finished setting up. And turn one, we see Nick, our Starvo player, swinging in with that Winter's Whale.
Arguably one of the best weapons in the entire game of Flesh and Blood.
Exactly, and we see this being turn 0 classes, no problem blocking. Yes. Him being Levia as well.
That's exactly what they wanted. So it's interesting that Nick went for an attack, which you usually don't want to do. But I'm assuming he's trying to, get that Covenant Starvo activation, so he would Whoa, this was really hard. He is...
Are you okay, Peter?
Help me, Boyd, I'm dying! He is attacking because he wants to draw all the elementals to activate Starro. Whew, we got there.
Yes, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
So, what do you know what's up with this Levia deck?
So I feel like I should know because Klaas is a local from Stockholm. I've played against him many times, even on Levia from time to time, but I have not played against this Levia Living Legends deck. Maybe it is just a deck that smashes. It does get to keep the Art of War that is gone.
Yes.
I think that's probably one of the key pieces.
Yeah, I do believe it has to play this card, right?
I would not be surprised if it did. Berserk is a card that probably the only card I was a little sad to see banned. And that was mostly because back then I was still playing Rhino and I was really trying to make something happen that wasn't basically the KO deck in Rhino. So I was like, then the Berserk deck came out and I was like, now we've got something cooking that's unique and new. And then Berserk got banned.
Yeah, but it's like when you read that this text, it's only a matter of time before it's gonna be broken, I see he's playing the very cool card, Tear Limb from Limb. That's a sweet card. But, do you notice this? So there was no Starvo for the start of the turn, so this is just 9. Levia does...
Just 9?
Just 9.
But normal in Living Legends.
Normal. But the most important thing for Klaas here, Nick is pitching his one Awakening to the bottom of the deck. And if I am Klaas, I am extremely delighted to know that I will not see this card for a long time. It's one of the best way to steal a game as the star of the show.
Indeed he is, and we will have to see if Nick can continue to remain the star of the show, or whether... Okay, I was trying to come up with a pun for Levia there to be like, maybe she can get demonic claw her way to victory, but it's all fallen apart, Peter. Yeah. It's all my energy went into yesterday. We're just trying to stay afloat at this point.
Yes, but we're doing what we can. Right now, this just looks like normal CC to me. It's just okay, you attack for 9. Okay, I attack you for 9. Nothing very exciting, not like the what we're known for, the Living Legend. So here is the Earth card that is like one of the best in the entire game. It's so crazy that you get double the Seismic Surge. So usually as the Star Wars, you really want to see this on turn 4 or turn 5, and you want to be down. The crazy part with this card is like, if you just are down 4 life. You get 8 seismic surges.
That allows you to play pretty big attacks.
Yeah.
There are some Guardian attacks that cost that much.
Yeah, that's nuts for free. And here's another notoriously powerful card, blocking. This is very interesting.
Yes, So here's the thing: I didn't play when Starvo was in a normal meta, but every time I see Starvo playing Legends, like he just plays one card, and like that's the power card that one hero used. That's the power card that other hero.
Yeah.
His deck is just power cards that are. Most heroes that exist now have access to like one of everything in his repertoire.
Ooh, here we see powerful stuff. 3, 4, 7. We're down to Rosetta Thorn limited power level here, Boyd.
An Earth form.
But it has the powerful element of giving that sweet embodiment of Earth.
Yes.
Back in the day when you could stack them with Briar. Ooh wee!
Ironically, it would have been a little bit better of a card in Florian if you can make 2 of the embodiments instead of the 1, but then Florian doesn't usually want to pigeonhole himself into playing like Earth cards only.
Yes, it's an interesting. There might be a Florian disc that wants this, but not right now. So there we see the Covenant Art of War. Are we going to see some action here from Mr. Klaus, or are we not yet ready to pop off, as the kid says?
But it is an interesting question as well, because the advantage of Earth form is it's not particularly threatening, but a lot of people, especially I've heard it said, you play that against an aggro deck, even if they block out, they will usually block 6 and still take the 1 and give you the embodiment, because it's not that threatening. But if you're in Klaas's position, you give the embodying, yeah, you got that auto, or you're going to have a pop-up turn, but Nick is going to block 1 extra with every single card, so you're effectively giving him 4 life.
But it's only on non-attacks.
That is true. It depends on what he has in hand.
And the Starvo don't usually play all the non-attacks, so here we see a banish, and I think it's just going to be go again. This is typical Levia. And that was a clash of agility. So the Levia is not live. So unless Klaus does something, he's due to pay his debt. The blood bank is coming unless you are doing taking another loan.
Exactly. That's huge. That's how a lot of Levia games end, with the blood bank showing up. In this case, we'll have to see if Starvo ends up being the blood bank.
That was a nice one.
But we see Klaus actually carefully thinking about this. Ooh, deciding to roll scabs.
Okay, baby!
The cherished 6 for 3 extra action points.
Oh my! This man's a baller!
Now all I want to see is that Berserk come down.
Oh, yep.
And then we've got the dream.
Oh my god. Takes the 1. Is it a miss? No, it's a... Oh. So, he must have drawn into that after the Art of War, because that is usually the dream card to Art of War, the Slitherpede, because it says if it's banished from hand, then you can play it this turn.
Exactly.
So now, I do believe the mode was banished, go again, and all the brute cards have +2 this turn. Oh, and there we see the new power card
I'm not
from
sure if
Levia.
the mode was go again, because that would give it go again to the next attack action, and he is now playing a card that most likely will get go again anyway, right?
Do you know what it's called again?
Shadow Realm Horror is the card we're looking at. It is the one where you banish 3 random cards from your graveyard, and for each 6 attacks you balance, it gets an additional effect. So I think the first one is just +1, the second one is go again, and the third one is something.
You may play a card. I put it on the screen now for you lovely people. So
there it is.
So I think it hit 2 6s, so it's 9 go again. That's pretty decent. But yeah, so the mode has to be go again, but he didn't knew what cards he was drawing into, Boyd, because he's drawn 4 cards this turn.
I suppose that is true. Like, if sometimes you just gotta set yourself up to succeed, and he could have been greedier here. He could have not picked the go again, but he didn't know in advance what he was going to.
Yes. So I think what I have seen from the man Sant himself, that you almost pick go again on Art of War unless you know what is going to happen.
Right, that does make sense, because I guess the risk is just too high, because you are not going as wide as a Zen would with those, like, 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage. So you might miss out on a potential 3 damage, but if you don't pick a go again and it turns out you needed it, you might not throw a 6 attack, and then you're missing
Yes.
out on 6 potential damage, which is 6 is oftentimes more than 3, is what I've been taught in math.
Wow, your first grade teacher must be proud of you, Boyd.
I hope so.
So here we see he's getting 1 value from the bottom of Earth. But one thing I think is interesting is why did he roll the scabs here?
Yes, it is interesting because
Because
I could see the scabs if he didn't pick a go again. That might have been then his way to generate
yes,
the action points.
but
But he did pick the go again because we see the Shadow Realm coming in for 9. That is 6 plus 1 of the discard effect and plus 2 from the Blood Rush. So
yes,
there was no +1 pick, definitely.
yeah. So it at least to be 1, but maybe he was not content just playing the Blood Rush Bellow if the turn was not strong enough.
And I guess it depends a little bit on what was in his hand at the start, because we knew the Art of War was in his hand at
Yeah,
the start.
so the Art of War drew into the Blood Rush most
Yes.
likely. But that seems unnecessarily risky because now he has 3 action points, all the go again in the universe. Oh, he's might going to activate the helmet, Boyd. That's pretty cool.
I mean, if you have this many action points, you
Smoke him if you got him, Massey, they say.
essentially, you generally don't want to spend your equipment too early in this game, but at some point you gotta be like, okay, I have 3 action points in the bank, I gotta cash it in somewhere, so let's
Yes.
just throw something at the wall and see what sticks.
So here's another 1 for 8. That's a pretty good rate.
Exactly.
It rhymes and it had the go again, and he has infinite action points, and it's like this. This is like an embarrassment of riches for the Boyd here. So no, the Boyd, yeah, you're rich now, Boyd.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I'm currently looking like Starvo does in this picture.
Hell yeah! No, for class. So when I used to play Chain back in the day, there was you would almost always want to spread out your Art of War to have more good turns than just one crazy turn, and this was by all means a crazy turn. He went through equipment and almost the entire hand, but maybe there was a possibility to play it a little slower, but I don't know how because I didn't see the entire hand at the start.
Yes, it was a hard call to make, but I do sort of see what you mean, because he is also up against Guardian, and like the power of Starvo aside, Guardian is overall generally a class that is happy to just block out and sit
Yeah.
back for a little bit. They have that fridge, they have mostly 3 blocks in most Guardian decks, so
Yeah.
they're gonna be able to take a lot of what you dish out. Maybe they'll lose some life, but it's hard to kill him.
Yeah, they have the stats for a longer because now he's without Arsenal, so he has to like try to set up another big turn in some way. But I don't know how. Levia is a very complicated deck with a lot of moving puzzles, and it's also that this turn he had seems extremely hard to predict because he drew 4 new cards.
Exactly, one of which being Blood Rush, which
Yes.
would then also draw him new cards. So
Yes.
at some point, that's probably also why he went so ham on the go again and the scab skins.
Yes, I am going to ask him later why he decided to roll the scabs there. So that was the most interesting. So here we see just a block for 5 with the equipment, so he can play the moth not to take the 5 blood depth, presumably. I think there is not 3 misses in his deck. Yep. 1 more blood depth, but Levi is turned off. Still a Art of War left in the graveyard, plus a blue. That is the blue that gets plus power if a 6 has been banished, I do believe.
All right, is that a base 6 attack?
It's base star.
Oh, that is the spicy new edition. That speaking what you brought him up earlier. It's almost impossible to narrate a Levia game without talking about Mansand. But
Yes, Diabolic Offering.
yes, I did see a more recent build of his, which was for Classic Constructed, but that was sort of built around that card specifically because it was bringing some sort of stability to the deck that you previously were unable to have before we got the cards from Rosetta that let you put cards into your graveyard.
I wonder if Levia ever get an armory deck, she might get like a shadow card like Boltin that says, when you block with this, you may put a 6 in your banish zone if you do draw a card. Then you might get the 6 block from the Diabolic Offering. That would be sweet.
Would definitely be interesting. Like I could see stuff like that happening, or maybe even just a piece of equipment that says when you block with this, you have to banish a random card from your hand. That sounds like a brute type of thing.
Yeah, because it's very rarely the Diabolic has the text that it needs to. So here we see another Blood Rush, and I do believe this one is going to be for. I think the claws are coming to play here because it's so efficient to just pitch 4 resources and send 10. I think that's another blue in Klaus's hand here. And
did you see? Did he pop something to go to? Because he's on 1 floating, but he pitched a blue to the Blood Rush.
Yes, because he had a frostbite from the very fair weapon Winter's Veil.
And that makes sense.
So here's a claw for 5.
Coming with 2 floating. So Nick knows there's at least 5 more coming from the other claw, and then whatever Klaus might have up his sleeve.
Yes, so there might be an argument to try to punk him with the shield here, because then he has to add another resource card, and
that is exactly what Nick seems to choose to do. Yeah, giving a frostbite. One of the few ways I think for Guardians to give frostbite to their opponent on their opponent's turn.
Yes.
Something we're going to be seeing a lot of when the Jarl deck comes out next week.
When Jarl comes out next week, you have more opportunities as long as they're open. Then you can do your best Icelander impression and Blizzard on their turn. And then they'll get a frostbite as well if they have an exposed slot.
Exactly. So we see Nick cleanly blocking out 5.
Yes.
So we see Klaus deciding how to proceed next.
Yes. So I agree with this play. 8 is bigger than 5, and you don't get the full value. So this would have been the typical Lavaya Blood Rush 18 damage. And when you're at 23, that's pretty scary. So you effectively blocked 5 with that shield. So that's a very good value.
Exactly.
So
1 frostbite coming in very close.
Yes. And when the Jarl is coming, you better be prepared to play around that shield, because a lot of inexperienced players are probably going to lose a lot of games because they didn't think about the shield.
Oh, but I'm going to lose a lot of games because I didn't think about
Put blues in your deck, my man. Eat your vegetables.
No, I'm okay, but I am at least not one of those people that goes like, I'm going to play a pitchless aggro deck. I will leave that to the other people in their armory and then laugh as I'm on the Jarl side of things.
Then you're going to be like, block shield. Okay, my turn is over. I kept 4 cards.
Alright, but we see a block with the Crown of Seeds, but other than that, everyone seems to be happy, everything resolving, so Nick is just lowering his total, adjusting accordingly, going down to 16 health.
There's 12 blood debt cards, so the bank is they're asking for more and more for Klaus here. Let's see if we going to see that fabled starve ability this entire game. Exactly. Not this turn. This is a powerful turn. It's a 2-card 8, and he still gets the arsenal. So he does not have an earth card in hand, because then it doesn't matter because it doesn't work on the hammer. But it's still about 8 with disruption. That's pretty good. This might be time to cash in old Husky here. Let us see. Yeah, so the pulse he's playing might not be known to everybody.
I was about to say, like, I vaguely recognize that as a pulse, but this is again slightly before my time.
It's Pulse of Volthaven.
That is the one.
Yes. And it says that your next lightning, ice, or elemental attack gains +4. So it works on everything, and it's an instant. So it's kind of a cracked card, really. But only 2 heroes can play it in the game. And they are both in this format for very good reasons.
Yes, I think it is Starvo and Lexi, if I'm not mistaken. Lexi being the only other lightning. I do remember looking at this card when Rosetta was about to come out and thinking, ooh, I need to pick up some of those old cards, and then realizing that nothing in Rosetta was going to be able to play this, nor was Terra.
Yes.
And now Jarl is not either, so I'm okay. I'm happy to not have picked any up. But I will probably miss them if I decide to ever build Starvo.
Yeah, but it's like it's a legendary, so you only need 1. It's not that expensive. But this hammer did not have ice on it, so Here we go back to the casino. Let's see if the dealers treat him nicely this turn. No, but we
Ooh.
have the gambler's claw.
Yeah, we're just going to ignore that. No one saw that.
Redo, please. Oh, off screen.
What did we get?
Four,
It looks like a
4 or a 5. So we're happy.
Yes, we got 2 action points.
Oh, hell
Plus
yeah.
immediately using one to play.
CNC.
Yes, CNC is an incredibly powerful card, which is the reason that we only see it in formats like
Yeah.
Legends.
Good thing it's only there.
So we see him immediately threatening that 6 damage, threatening the arsenal.
Yes, but
Nick, of course, simply happy to use his Crown of Seeds.
And this is an especially good turn because it's tunic, so it's kind of free. It's still 5 damage, and you're on 16. And if you don't have Starvo here, surely you must block some of the damage. The interesting thing is, does Klaus have a way to turn off Blood Depth, or else he's gonna maybe transform?
And while we are talking about that, I will bring up the Starvo card very briefly for people who are watching who may not be familiar with this hero either. So we're calling him Starvo because he is called a Bravo Star of the show, and there's multiple different types of Bravo. But since he's Bravo Star, it's Starvo. And his
lovingly
says, at the start of your turn, you may reveal an Earth, Ice, and Lightning card from your hand, and if you do that, your next attack with 3 or more cost will gain +2, dominate, and go again. So basically, your whatever you attack in will be dominate and chunky and big, and it's already a Guardian attack. So if you have that hand, you really want to hang on to it, and that is kind of what Nick is trying to set up. He's trying to sort of gamble to get to that point in the game.
So here he's going to take a lot of Blood Depth, and now he's going to transform into Blasphemous Levia Consumed, which is one of... I'm a sucker for these effects. I really love the ability to change hero mid-game. It's so cool. So, this is a Deme hero. It's a card you have in your inventory, but you can't play it. So the trigger is when you take Blood Depth damage down to 13, instead whenever you would banish. Okay, so little sloppy here for Klaus. He's just forgot to put the cards at bottom. No harm, no foul, and it draws. So instead of losing life from Blood Depth, whenever you play a card, at the end of the turn, you would mill banish card from your deck equal to your Blood Depth. But the catch is, whenever you on each of your turns, you may play 1 card from your Blood Depth. So you basically go up 1 intellect. So it's really powerful.
Yes, it allows you to do a lot, but it also means you have to use that boon to close the game out quickly.
Yes,
because you start banishing your entire deck.
Yeah, the deck is going fast. So you're on the clock, and Nick with an extremely clutch last card of the Chan Lake Frigid. So if Klaus... Oh, he has the Doomsday as well. Ooh, but he has a lot of resources. I think Klaus might be able to power through this Channel Lake Frigid just with the raw power of his awesome new form.
It is interesting to see what is going to happen, because we do see Starvo is usually happy to take a bunch of damage to activate that Starvo ability, keep his hand, and just do a big debilitating swing that prevents his opponent from playing. But if you're at 9 life, there's only so much damage that you can just take.
Yes.
You can block with your equipment, but his equipment is also a little roughed up already. He has some block left there, but it's I think.
And you don't want to give the Blasphemous hero a go again. That could be devastating.
Yes, exactly, because that is what would happen if Starvo blocks with his boots.
So here we pitch Art of War. We don't need that card to play the Shadow Realm Horror. Let's see if he gets the full jackpot here. Yes, I do believe his 2 last cards are Doomsday and another blue.
Yeah, so he is looking to get as many 6 cards banished from his graveyard. 1 just gives it the +1. That is nice, but not really what he's looking for. He's looking for 2 so that he gets to go again.
Yes.
And if he doesn't get to go again, his turn will end, and then we get an interesting situation for Nick, because then he can choose to take it if he thinks he can kill Klaus, because we know there's not going to be anything coming after this.
Yes.
But if he does get to go again, well, then we just have to see what happens and what the
There
Maya can
there
do here.
are at least 2 misses here. So this might be scary for Klaus. Let us see.
All right, that is.
Oh, full jackpot, baby! Ding, 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 ding,
We
ding!
have all of them.
All modes. Because the reason why you get all modes, because, hey, you banished a star card, but the star card is banished at the same time as the other 6s. Then it will be a 6 for Lavaya. But because of Blasphemous, this card is slightly nerfed. Because whenever you banish a card, they go face down. So you can't play them.
Yes.
So this is only a 3 for 7 go again.
Okay, so the third effect, it doesn't actually matter. So in that case,
No.
Klaas would have been happier to banish 2 6 attacks
Yes.
and a non to get a miss out of his graveyard.
Yes. Ideally.
But at the end of the day, it's still 7 go again. There is a Channel Lake Frigid, but the Klaas is swinging, and Nick is going to have to give up something unless he wants to go down to 2 hit points.
Yes. A 2 is scary.
It is 2 is always scary against Brute because of the reckless swing. I'm not entirely sure if if Klaas's list is playing them. You might not play them as they are misses.
Defense reaction. That's cool. Since Starvo has the biggest card pool by any hero. It's just so many ways to build him.
Exactly. We do see those sinks coming in there. We see Nick just calmly being, okay, we can...
Okay, yes, I will go get the judge.
So we have a judge call immediately happening as there is a sink coming in. I suspect it has to do with the fact that Nick wants to sink a card from hand, but they're also trying to figure out whether the Channel Lake Frigid it comes into play or something like that. There might be an interaction. I would also not be surprised if Klaas in this case has a card that he wants to play, and he's going to need to figure out when he can play it. But either way, we're going to figure it out soon enough, and we're going to see what the judges decide and what they end up going with.
Our lovely head judge Niklas Bengtsson is coming to clear up any confusions. So I'm interesting. What what do you think the judge question is? Is it just the sink below?
I was just discussing that. I was wondering about it because sink below seems pretty straightforward, right? You play the sink below and you get to sink a card if you want. I was wondering if maybe there was a question of doesn't the sink below cost 1 extra because of the Channel Lake Frigid?
Yeah, but it's only your opponent's cards.
Yeah, I thought so as well, and I figured that seems like a pretty simple thing. Yeah, but it looks like the judge call was very simply resolved as well. It did not take long at all. The judge showed up.
Okay, yeah, so he didn't have 2 blues. If he had 2 blues this turn, that would be very scary for Nick. But then we could have played Blasphemous here. But ideally, if we're lucky, we don't mill it with our ability.
Alright, so we see the attack coming, and we see...
It has go again because of the Quicket token. So do you dare go to 1?
Well, the question is also... You don't want to, obviously, and we were just mentioning about the Reckless Swing. I don't know if Klaas's list plays them.
Yeah.
It could be a miss for many things in this deck that do require 6 attacks. But it is something that if you're Nick in this case, you have to consider that.
Yes.
And he blocks exactly enough to go to 3. He's like, I don't really want to take that risk. I don't want to go down to 2.
Yes.
I don't want to lose this to just a Reckless Swing.
But they preserved a lot of cards in his hand. There's another Art of One gone, called the Grave. Not the worst cards to lose, but still, I don't know. Oh, there's the last Blood Rush Bellow.
If you are Klaas right now, that is what you want.
Oh, here's the first activation of the game.
We see the start. We see an Autumn's Touch for an Earth card. We see a Heaven's Claws for a Lightning.
And Ice Quake.
Ice Quake. So that is Earth, Ice, and Lightning, the Holy Trinity combined.
Ooh.
And we see immediately the Starvo Specialization card coming out, I believe. I think that is
Starstruck. So the big question here. It's coming for 12 Dominate. So this is going to steal the turn because even if Klaas gives the equipment.
Yes, it is.
It's
Starstruck is a one that I always have to double read as well because it essentially says its crush effect. If it deals 4 or more damage, the only attacks your opponents can play during their turn are attacks that have damage greater than the damage dealt that way. So what it essentially means is it comes for 10. If you do
yes,
not block at all and you take 10 damage, then you can only play attacks on your turn that have
11,
11 or
but
more.
it's 12 dominate because of the Star effect.
Exactly. So
And so even if Klaus gives Nick the 3 block plus the boots, he has to play a 9 attack. And he doesn't have a 9 attack.
unless he's playing Shade and Death Hydra, I think.
Oh!
There is a 13 attack card.
That's true, but it's that card is not in his hand.
Yes, it does not look like it. But so there is a potential way for Klaus's deck to get around it, but it looks like he's not there. The problem, I guess, that he's facing right now is if he was able to block with 2 cards at least, he could take it down, only take 6 damage, maybe
Yes.
add that equipment to take 5, and that means he can play 6 power attack.
Yes.
If there's one thing Brute likes, it is their 6 power.
Yes, so he's blocking, he's taking 9, going to 4. So now we're, I think Klaus is in trouble here. He looked like he was going to win this one, but now he's in he's in the church. He has to pray that Nick doesn't draw the Star War effect.
Exactly.
Because one dominated effect here should be able to close the game out.
Yeah, because of the Star Trek, Nick is only a 3, but Klaus cannot pressure him. Aside
Yes.
from Shade and Death Hydra, which we know is not there
Yeah.
right now, but there's no way for him to play any attacks.
Yes, so here is Nick a little too quick because Klaus is just he has to. Did he forget to do his? What's going on here?
I think he just Arsenal. I think he just passed the turn because
Yeah, but he should have banished some cards from the top of his deck. It was not the Star War effect. Wait, what's going on here? Klaus has not pitched his only 3 cards in hand.
He just discarded one to the Winter Spy.
Oh
so
yeah, he
did have
discarded instead of
4.
pitching it. Okay. Yeah, no, so something weird happened there, but I don't know why, so I don't feel comfortable trying to get a
They may
judge.
simply have forgotten the Blasphemous trigger.
Yes.
I have had that happen to me before, funnily enough, that exact thing where a player flipped a Blasphemous and then forgot that they needed to banish half their deck. Because
Yes.
it's such a big thing that it's so easy not to forget, and then people don't think about it and they forget.
Yes. But I am not comfortable saying if it happened or not, because if you see something that should not happen in a game, oh yeah, now they're talking about it. I think he's pointing at the deck, so we might gonna go and get the judge. Yep.
There we are. It looks like we were
Yeah, we caught it.
correct on that one. But that is also sort of the advantage of, well, I want to say hindsight, but in our case, it is the advantage of caster side, I suppose you have, is we are not, we are also trying to figure out what lines these players are wanting to make and what exactly they want to do. But we are not in their seats, so we don't have the pressure. If we want to stop thinking about Leviathan lines, we can just opt to do that. So we essentially get a free pass to just take a look and enjoy yourselves, and that's how it's easier for us to miss these types of things that are a lot harder to remember when you're actually playing the game and you're already thinking about your next turn. And I mean, that way you can quite easily miss out on certain things.
Yes.
But it looks like the judges are going to be making a decision. I would not be surprised if we might see like a small IP for class here, because it was
Yes,
most likely
this
just an honest mistake.
it's an
forgetfulness.
honest mistake. It's easy to forget, as you said. I do not suspect any foul play at the hands of Klaus here. I do believe he simply just forgot. There's a lot of things going on, and especially in this high stake environment, there should be more danger. So I do believe the trigger is just gonna go on the stack, and he's gonna banish, and we're going to continue the game as is.
Yes, because I think I'm uncertain about this, as I'm not a high level judge, but I believe they might just ask like, okay, did you draw any cards? Because if not, you can simply just retroactively still do the
Yeah, but he
effect and
did draw
nothing-
cards.
He did draw the cards in his hand.
Yeah, but it's random.
That is true.
So it doesn't matter if he banish or draws first. He might get an IP or he might get a warning. It depends on how severe Niklas wants to punish this turn. But even if he gets the IP, I think he just might be able to get to the finish line here. If there's not a blizzard from Nick now, there might be lights out if he did draw some blues.
We do see an embodiment of Earth that was created because Nick, I think, attacked last turn with a
Earth form.
Exactly, that is the one.
His favorite Rosetta limited card.
so we might see some extra block capability out of Nick, but there's a good chance he will need that as he's we had a naked man in socks yesterday. We have a naked man with a mask
with a
on
hat.
Today.
You may keep your hat on. So here, this is an attack for 8. If he has a blizzard, he can survive. If it miss, he can't survive.
Yeah, there are definitely outs for Nick here, but we'll see exactly what.
I don't think he's gonna miss. Ooh, it was close though.
It was close. But if you're in Klaas's shoes, you are happy with that result because that is 2 misses out there.
Yes.
And still you got your hit. So now if you have anything else to follow up that also has to banish that graveyard.
So the dream for Klaas is that he has a blue because then he can go claw for 5 and a 1 cost. I do believe he has like a Slitherpede or a 1 cost in his 6 extra intelligence. And here we see the hidden mode of Starstruck that when you block with another card, you get a Seismic Search token. Unity, not a very used mechanic in the game.
Exactly. With the Seismic Search might not even matter. If Nick cannot stay alive, he's not going to be there around to make use of his Seismic Search token.
Yes.
But he is trying.
Because this... Guardians usually blocks extremely well. But when you're playing a lot of the Earth attacks, you block quite poorly, actually.
Yes.
This is a block for 7, and he's gonna somersault back 2 cards. So this is a very good defense reaction, but so it gives the ability to block 2 again. So it all depends. So he has 5 block. So if there's another 8 coming, it's over. Oh, he has the blue. I think it's over.
So this is a 5 attack. We do see.
Yes, and there's the Slitherpede for game.
I think that is.
Boom! And Levia takes it.
Levia going 3-0 at our Living Legend event here.
I did not expect that.
Yes, it's the same for me because everyone has been talking about Starvo forever. He's been like the favored one for a while as well. And it makes sense because when Living Legend first started being a thing, we saw that meta where I think we had one battle harder.
Yeah, I was playing in that event actually.
Oh yeah, so you were enjoying. You were a Starvo enjoyer yourself.
No, I was playing a Briar.
Oh, so you were very much not a Starvo.
No, but I was actually quite close to the top 8. But it was funny because I played against my friend Kenneth in the second round, and he destroyed me. And then I played against Starvo the third round, and I destroyed him. And then Kenneth just kept on losing and dropped. I'm like, you beat me and then you keep losing? What the hell, man? Yeah, but no, that deck with no restrictions was way too good. That's why the first was top 8 Starvos.
Exactly. But it is interesting because I remember that when that was a thing, there were a lot of people online kind of detracting and saying like, oh, Living Legend is not a real format, it's just a Starvo format. And sure, if your top 8 is Starvos, that doesn't look too good, but we've come a long way from that.
Yeah.
We see the Starvo here losing to Levia, a hero that hasn't even Living Legend.
Yeah.
It's still legal in Classic Constructed.
And he didn't play Berserk, and he did. The only banned card I saw was Art of War, and that Art of War was not that impressive.
So we see essentially almost a Classic Constructed deck here beating a Living Legend Starvo, so that does put a bit of a question mark over the position of Starvo right now. Obviously, one game is not a very big sample size, but still.
And he didn't get to do the thing. He only Starvoed once the entire game.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter what format. If you play with a blank hero, you're not playing a good deck.
Yeah, this is definitely true. But it was nonetheless an interesting game to see. And
yeah, for sure.
It's also going to stay interesting because that means that our Levia player class is now 3-0.
One more win and it's top 8, baby!
Exactly. So we saw Bolton in our top 8 yesterday in CC. Maybe now we're going to see Levia in our
that
top 8.
That would be so awesome, Boyd. Monarch Gaming.
Maybe we're going to get the shout out back from Mansan. He's going like this his Levia sense is going up. He's like somewhere in the world there's something happening.
He's sleeping down. in where is he from? Oh,
Somewhere in the States.
yeah, oh, my father was there, but I can't remember. Yeah, but he's sleeping, and when Levi got top heavy, he was like, I awake.
He knows there's a vibration somewhere
Yeah,
in the senses around the
he's
world.
like, something is wrong. Something is right. I can feel it.
But yeah, we'll have to see exactly what we're going to get next round.
Yeah.
We may well see some different players, but we're gonna take a look to see what we have lined up for.
Yeah,
our
we'll be
audience.
back shortly with round 4.
Yes, and we will see you soon.